right, look. We should base everything on the SWOT analysis we did before, right? What are our strengths? What are our resources? Searching, open source internet services, server power.
Our cash, our target advertising capabilities.
Our productivity software, a brand, reputation.
Innovative people, intellectual capital.
Okay, fine. I think we know what our strengths are. But what about our weaknesses? What about what's wrong? Come on, guys, weaknesses.
Yeah, I was a little uncomfortable when Eric asked us to tell him what our weaknesses were. Nobody likes talking about what their vulnerabilities of their company are. And plus, I didn't see why we had to be so methodical about it. We all know what's wrong, right? Let's just solve the problems.
Well, most importantly, it's our sole reliance on online ad revenue. If anything undermines that, what other revenue streams do we have to fall back on?
Okay, what about opportunities and threats?
Our threats are everywhere. There's potential legislation to regulate online advertising. There's the economy that's limiting the ad dollars companies can allocate. Intense rivalry with Microsoft's Bing. The list goes on and on.
And what makes them threats?
What makes them threats is they can all erode our revenues and eventually our bottom line. Don't even get me started on the trouble we could run into in China.
Wait. China's one of our biggest opportunities. It's not a negative thing. Access to 1.4 billion people, millions of untapped advertising dollars.
And the China issue keeps coming up. We just don't seem any closer to having a consensus on what strategy we're deploying there. So much political uncertainty and pressure, it puts a substantial strain on our value system. I just don't think it's as easy as there's a billion people there to market to. It's times like this when I question some of my colleagues. I do.
Yeah, I know Sergey's never fully embraced our opportunities in China, but that's where we're headed, period. We've got to. We've got all kinds of opportunities for strategic partnerships too. Apple, Lenovo, Dell, Mozilla. We've got companies beating down our doors to work with us on YouTube. And what about cloud computing? That's the next step in the evolution of technology. All these opportunities can lead to increased revenue sources and ultimately net income.
Okay, good. We know where we stand.
Eric, this is all old news. We know this stuff. We gotta think outside the box.
Wait, think outside the box. I mean, what does that even mean?
What the?
Hang on.
You know, he's right. We've got to approach these opportunities and threats in different ways than we have before.
We know what we do well. Let's just keep doing it.
All right, Sergey. Sometimes I think Sergey just argues for the sake of argument. Frankly, he's kind of a Anyway, the truth is we can't continue to be rigid in our strategic thinking. We need some flexibility. We need contingency plans for different economic environments, for different potential actions that our competitors might take. We've got to be ready. Hold on. We're not going to stop what we're doing well, but this isn't a static environment. We need to be flexible enough to take advantage of whatever happens. So what I want now is the answer to the question, how can we be strategically flexible?
Real options.
What do you mean?
Real options. It's the idea that we reduce our downside risk while accessing our upside opportunities. And it just so happens that we mentioned a perfect real option in our SWOT analysis, an equity joint venture. We just finished saying one of our biggest opportunities is to form a strategic partnership with Apple or Adele or someone else. Doing something like that is a perfect real option.
All right. So what are the success factors here? I mean, give me an example of how that works.
Okay, think about this. The market is already buzzing about our mobile operating system Android and the Open Handset Alliance. If we partnered with companies like Samsung and T-Mobile, we can be in a position to have cell phones being made by the end of 2010 that all have our operating system on them. This would grab market share directly from the pockets of Apple's iPhone and BlackBerry.
And that's open source.
Exactly. Eventually it could translate to desktops and laptops too. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? People stay in love with Apple and don't rush to buy Samsung phones? But that wouldn't even impact us because all they're doing is putting our software in their phones. We'd essentially be creating a huge threat to our rivals with very limited downside. Good economy, bad economy, people are going to need cell phones, and we can use that to direct more people to our search engine.
Oh, it's a great example of strategic flexibility. It would give us upside if the market reacts in a certain way, and it would limit our downside if the market reacts in a different way. We've got to take advantage of our breadth and our ability to reach billions of people online. Partnerships like that are a perfect way to do that.
Okay, so we have some options available to us, but are we ready for the next big thing? I mean, everybody in this company seems to think that cloud computing is the wave of the future, but is that a disruptive technology that we can truly capitalize on?
Of course it's a disruptive technology. Cloud computing will change the world, and we're at the forefront of it. We have the first mover advantage.
Not really. There were plenty of companies out there with viable models for cloud computing before we started.
Okay, fine, that's true. But we really are the first mover with significant branding and the marketing machine to bring it to market. You'd agree with that, right?
I guess so.
All right, so we're the first large mover. Does that really give us an advantage here? I mean, the last thing I want is for us to muddle through some inventive cloud computing strategy and have a competitor swoop in and do it better than us. In that case, we'd just be better off waiting.
Eric, Microsoft, Oracle, some of the big embedded computer companies are shaking in their boots right now, and Google Apps is only in its infancy. Once our technology increases even more, they don't stand a chance.
I generally agree with Sergey. The possibilities of cloud computing seem almost limitless. With a simple $300 tablet PC with nothing on it but a browser, anyone around the world would be able to run apps that are currently only available to a small set of people. Google Apps could become a multi-billion-dollar business that will diversify our dependence on search.
All right, so that's a great claim and all, but what about revenue streams?
Well, that's definitely one of the primary issues. Who's going to be the first company with sustainable revenues from this? We're currently offering a promotion where businesses can try Google Apps for free for 30 days, and afterwards we're charging $50 per user per year after the trial.
I don't think these guys are getting it. I mean, the quality of service is steadily increasing, but so is the competition. Microsoft and Amazon are hot on our heels, and new entrants are cropping up every day. Is on the line here, and I don't know if this is the disruptive technology we should be dedicating billions in R&D to. All right, well, what about the competition? What are their dynamic capabilities with regards to cloud computing?
Well, Microsoft just detailed its plan for its cloud computing platform, Azure, earlier this year. Azure will provide the platform for software developers and corporate customers to create Microsoft-compatible cloud applications. They'll also offer web-based versions of the Office suite. Microsoft's initial plans are targeted at the software developers who build applications designed to run on Azure. They'll offer a discount of 15 to 30% to developers and resellers who sign on for 6 months or more. In the pay-per-use category, they're going to charge 12 cents an hour for computing, 15 cents per gigabyte for storage, and 10 cents per 10,000 storage transactions.